Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to teach you what I've learned from Gary Vaynerchuk on how to crush it using video on social media. For you guys who don't know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, I've been following this guy for more than 10 years. I've been reading his books, listening to him on this podcast, listen to some of his events that he's done all over the world. Gary Vaynerchuk is a really successful entrepreneur who has been successful by using video on social media, and he runs a company called Vayner Media, and he has over 900 employees in his company. That's crazy. So today I'm going to teach you all the tips, and not all the tips and tricks, but some of the tips that I've learned from Gary V himself. Not personally, not one-on-one, but from reading his stuff and listening to him and just learning from him on how you can crush it using video on social media today. Now, I've been watching and following Gary V or Gary Vaynerchuk very closely over the last 10 years. I've been listening to all of his podcasts, almost all of them. I've read all his books and I watch a lot of his videos, and I just love learning from him. And what I love about him is that he is his own person. He doesn't listen to anyone else. He has his own thoughts and strategies and opinions that are completely different to a lot of other entrepreneurs that have been successful as well. But he uses his strategies that he preaches, and he has made them work for him, and he's teaching other people how he has grown his company the way he's done it. So he's not just teaching things that are just in theory and that may not work. He's teaching things that he does every single day, and he's made work for himself. So that's what I love about him. He's his own person. Now, the 4 tips and tricks that I'm going to show you and tell you about today are from 2 of Gary V's most popular books, I think. One of them is called Crush It, and the sequel to that, Crushing It. So I'm going to leave the links in the description below to these 2 books if you find these tips interesting and want to learn or want to read more about him and want to read these books. I'm going to leave the links in the description below for you guys to check out. But enough about me babbling on about Gary V. Let's get started with these 4 tips. Now, number 1 is native uploading or native content to social media platform. What I mean by this is that what a lot of people do is a good practice for a video is to repurpose your content. So what I mean by repurposing your content is if you make a YouTube video, you can then put that on Facebook, put that a shorter version on Instagram, put it on Twitter, put it on LinkedIn, strip the audio and use it as a podcast maybe. There's many ways you can repurpose and reuse one piece of content that you've made. So you don't just upload it once, you spread it to your social media. So that is a good practice to do. But what most people do when they do this is they would upload their YouTube video to YouTube, obviously, and then they would go on Facebook and type a post and then put a link to the YouTube video, then go on LinkedIn and do the same thing, and maybe a picture on Instagram and a link to a YouTube video, and like that. So what you need to understand, and what Gary V preaches a lot, is that every social media platform has an algorithm that are slightly different to each other, but they all have the same goals, which is to keep you, the user, on their platform for as long as possible without leaving their site, which makes sense because they're a business at the end of the day. They're there to make money. So they won't make money if you go from Facebook to YouTube and then they've lost you. So what happens is when you go on Facebook to write a post and put a YouTube link there, Facebook realizes you put a link to another website on your post, and then what happens is they won't show it to your audience. So if you have like 10,000 followers on your Facebook page, like 100 of them, or not even 100 of them, are going to see your post, because Facebook don't want those 10,000 to go from Facebook to YouTube. And this is the same thing for all social media sites: YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all of them. They don't want you to leave their platform. So what you do instead is you natively upload. So you would upload your video to YouTube, and then you would upload that video to Facebook, and then you might strip it down to 60 seconds and then upload that to Instagram. You might upload it natively to LinkedIn and Twitter and so on and so on. When you upload that video natively, like for instance on Facebook, when you natively have it uploaded on Facebook and then you post about it, Facebook realizes, okay, this video has been uploaded to Facebook, so there's content there that's native to Facebook that Facebook would want to share because they want their users to have a good experience on a platform and stay on the platform. So they will share the videos that you have on Facebook. And Facebook is leaning more towards videos. So if you have a video on Facebook rather than text or images, they're gonna spread that video more than text or images. So the organic growth and the organic reach from just natively uploading is just a lot bigger. So that's rule number one, or tip number one, to grow your organic reach on your social media using video, is to just upload your videos, upload your content natively to each platform. It's very simple to do, and it's a small trick that could grow your organic reach. Tip number two, focus on value first when you make your videos. So what a lot of people do when they make a video is they don't focus on what value they're going to offer their audience. So if you change your mindset before you make a video and think about your audience, if you just think about why people watch videos, they don't watch videos just for the sake of it. They watch videos because there's something in it for them, whether that's to entertain them when they're bored or to learn something. So the two biggest forms of value that you can offer people in a video is entertainment, which is really hard to do, and educate, which is the more easier option. So you need to ask yourself before you make any video for anyone, are you entertaining your audience or are you educating your audience? And if you don't know how to educate your audience or what to educate your audience in, you need to figure out who your audience is and what they would want to learn. So why do they come to your channel? Why do they come to your brand? What is in it for them? Everyone wants to know what's in it for them. That's why they watch your content. That's why they see your stuff, because there's something in it for them. So if you make a video offering value first before you ask anything back, people come to your content, people come to your brand because there's something in it for them. And then you're attracting the right people to your brand. Gary Vaynerchuk has a rule of thumb here. He has a rule called the 51-49, which means that he offers everyone 51% value and asks for maximum 49% back, which it is not exactly true. What he's trying to say here is that he always gives more value than he asks for. So what he does, and this is for business now, so we're talking more about, more than social media, it's talking about business, his business acumen, if you want to say. So what he does is he uses his social media channels to offer value to his millions and millions of followers that he has all over the globe. And he wants to educate people on things that he knows. He wants to offer the value in his books and everything that he does, podcasts. He doesn't ask for anything back. He offers value. So another quote that he has is, give value, give value, give value, and then ask for business. So he gives value 3 times before asking for something in return. That could be buy my book. That could be whatever. It could be buy my services at Gary Vaynermedia. Sorry. So he offers value first before he asks for things in return, and I really like that approach, because you want to educate people. You want to teach people about your knowledge, and it builds trust. So that's what I do in my company. That's one biggest thing that I've learned about my company. I offer value to people, and if you've not seen my last video, I talk about my company, talk about my journey, and that I knew nothing about business before I started my company. And I educated myself in this. So if you want to watch the video, I'm gonna put it up in one of these corners. I don't know what it is, which corner it goes in, but it's gonna be one of these corners, and just watch that. But I've learned that offering value to your customers, offering value to your audience first, attracts people in and builds the trust, and they want to watch more, they want to see more. And then if they're the right people, then you ask for business, whether that is, okay, help me on my channel by donating some money, or buy my book, or or sponsor me or something. Whatever your product is, you need to offer something to your audience before you ask in return. Otherwise, people are not going to give you anything. It's a two-way relationship, and that's what I love about Gary Vee. That he has this approach, and it's a really powerful approach to take when it comes to social media. Okay, tip number 3, and you are not gonna like this one. I don't even like this one, but it's a really important tip, and that is play the long game. Play the long game. Now, today it's 2018. No one likes playing a long game. Why? Because we have technology, we have things that gives us things instantly. I mean, we can, if we use Netflix or HBO, whatever streaming service you have, you can watch shows instantly. You no longer have to wait 1 week for a TV show anymore. You no longer have to wait 12 months to watch a series anymore. You can watch it within one day. You can have things instantly. You can have an Uber driver turn up at your location within 3 minutes. You can, there's so many things that makes things instant. Social media is one of them. You can have stuff instantly given to you. So we have been brought up in that way, or we've been engrossed in this society for a long time now, that we don't like waiting for things anymore. And that's okay. I mean, that's not wrong. I mean, everyone's like that now. Well, most people are like that because of technology. So when it comes to social media and marketing yourself and building your brand, it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, you might see in a newspaper, not newspaper anymore, you might see it on the news, on an app, wherever you get your information from, that a company has been an overnight success, that a YouTuber has been an overnight success, a social media influencer has been an overnight success. This cannot be further from the truth. What you don't see is all the grind, all the effort, the months of nothing happening for that person or that company before they get the success. So this overnight success that people get is not overnight, it's over like 5 to 10 years. Like a company, like, let me put this in perspective. Slack, everyone knows Slack. Slack is a company that makes this communication tool for businesses. I've seen in the news time and time again how they've been an overnight success. But I've read a lot of information about Slack, and they've been a company for many, many years before they grew to the way they are today. So they're not an overnight success. This happens a lot with social media influencers. People think that they're overnight success because they've gained millions of followers in a short space of time, but they've been grinding and working on their brand for many years before this growth has happened. So you need to get into the mindset of playing the long game and not trying to grow your brand within a week, 2 weeks, 2 months. It takes years to grow your brand, especially organically as well. It takes a long time to grow your brand. As soon as you get into that mindset that you are in it for the long term, you will gain a lot, because especially with video and YouTube, what happens is that a lot of people want to be these big YouTubers or these big stars, so they start making videos. And then months go by and they made loads of videos and maybe 5 people have watched their videos. And it's very easy to get disheartened and like, okay, no one's gonna watch this, it's not working out, I'm just gonna stop. Whereas just a few months is not a long time. Whereas big YouTubers have made thousands and thousands of videos and been doing it for years. A lot of them have been doing it since 2006 when YouTube started. That's 12 years ago. So they've been in it for a long game and they've seen the growth and seen the success. And a lot of people just quit after a short term because they're not used to the long-term wait. They're not used to that wait. They're not used to waiting for success or waiting to get stuff. So if you learn how to wait and to achieve things, you are going to be successful. And especially in Gary Vee's second book, Crushing It, that here's a lot of case studies from different people of how they've been on social media, they've been growing their brand, growing their business for many years with minimal results, and then suddenly they've grown and gotten big results over the time, which is really it's really inspiring when you read this book. I really encourage you guys to read it. It's really inspiring and really teaches you how You need to think about the long term over the short term. And just before going to the last tip, when we talk about organic growth on platforms like YouTube, what social media platforms encourage is active users over time. So let's give YouTube as for instance. If you make regular YouTube videos over a long period of time, YouTube are going to do like that and like users to do that. So they will help promote you if you make a lot of videos over a consistent amount of time. So if you just make one video in many months and then another video a few months later and then one video a few months later and then stop, YouTube will not promote you because you're not an active user. But if you make 3 videos per week, YouTube are going to promote that because you've been doing it over a long time and it's consistent. So that is another positive to playing the long game and being consistent on social media. Now, tip number 4, we are going to just go away from organic growth right now, and we're going to go into what Gary Vee thinks is the most important tip for growing a brand, and that is Facebook advertising. Gary Vee preaches about Facebook advertising everywhere, in his books, in his podcasts, everywhere, and he says Facebook advertising is one of the key strategies he has used to grow his companies. Not just VaynerMedia, but his wine company that he had before that. He said Facebook advertising is the key to growing small companies, but you need to learn how to use it in the right way. And he always uses the case study of a company called Wish. Wish has grown from $0 to $2 billion purely through Facebook advertising. So that shows you the power of Facebook advertising. Why Gary Vee preaches Facebook advertising is because of the power of the advertising platform they have mixed with the amount of users they have, the amount of active users they have every single day on that platform, mixed with how cheap it is compared to other advertising platforms. So Facebook advertising is pretty much like half the cost of like any other advertising platform online, like AdWords, LinkedIn advertising, and all the others. So Facebook advertising is cheaper, but yet more effective, and there's more users to get your brand in front of with Facebook advertising. So Gary Vee says this is the number one rule and number one strategy that a lot of companies, a lot of small companies and brands should be using to grow their brand. And I've been taking this approach in my company, and what I've done differently as well is that a lot of companies here they would, when they approach Facebook advertising, they would put a photo out there, put some nice text and say buy now underneath. That's the call to action. But when we go back to the examples, to the tips that I said before, one about natively adding video to your platform, to Facebook platform or social media platforms, and the other one is leading with value. Now, what I've tried and what I've tested is using video advertisements on Facebook, and also instead of asking for the sale, you give value. So what I've done and what I tested is using Facebook to promote value videos, that I like to call them. So like training videos or educational videos to teach people how to do things. So that in turn spreads my brand and builds trust with people. So instead of me reaching out to people and trying to sell to people, I reach out to people through Facebook advertising and I teach them things and build the relationship there. And then the people that are interested and want to buy from me or want to hire me to teach them how to use video and social media or help them with their company, they will contact me rather than me contacting them. And that is a very powerful strategy, and that's one thing that I've learned from Gary Vee that has been extremely successful for my company. Now, I hope you've got some good value from these tips. I hope you can take some of these tips and use them to build your brand, use them to make some good videos and educate people or teach people, entertain people, and build your brand online on social media today. Gary Vee doesn't just preach this stuff. He uses these strategies and he's built his companies to multi-millions of dollars. So they do work if you use them in the right way. So hopefully these tips will help you build your influence with video on social media today. And please, in the comments below, let me know if you've been crushing it on social media at the moment. If you have, which platforms have you been crushing it on and how? I'd love to share information and learn from you guys too, and everyone can learn from each other. So please comment below if you've been crushing it on social media today, which platform and how. Until next time.